In today's video, I go to 5 different stadiums, but each stadium I go to, the next one gets better. Let's get into it. How this is going to work is I go to 5 different AFL stadiums, but each time they get better until I reach the best stadium possible. The criteria I'm going to be using to rank each ground include ranking the food, the game quality, the overall experience there, the overall atmosphere there, and the seats I get for the game. Before we get into it, I'd appreciate if everyone drops a like and subscribes to the channel. We've got a like goal of 100 likes for this video. We've arrived here at Arden Street for the first stadium here for this video between the D's and North Melbourne. Here, hoping for a good contest of footy, but not expecting too much, to be honest, as it is the first stadium. It's going to get better from here, so let's get inside.
Got it.
D's take a 1-goal lead heading into quarter time. Not a bad quarter of footy though.
We're supporting the D's today.
You're supporting the D's today, yeah. I like what they've seen so far. We've got some pretty good seats right next to the D's bench as well.
No standing, but still
Exactly, yeah. There's no seats around. It's literally just standing, so it isn't the seats we had, and they were pretty decent in the end. We had a small bit of shade, I guess, which was a bit of a bonus because there was very little shade for the actual whole game. We were next to the players' races, which was quite cool. We got to see all the strategies that both teams were providing. We had to stand for the whole game, so if you like standing, this would be unreal seats, but we had to stand for 2.5 hours, which definitely brings the rating down, as there were no seats in the actual ground. I want to give this a 5 out of 10 though. It isn't the best experience so far, but this is what we're dealing with. Can't see anything.
half the ground.
It's literally, the fan doesn't even go to us as well, so.
You think, oh, you're about to get a nice succulent breeze of air.
And it stops right there.
It stops right in front of us.
Just isn't the best quality, but obviously it's going to get better and better from here, and it's not a bad start so far. Like with food wise, there's not too much here. We had some food at halftime though as well. Daniels kicks his first goal in North colours. Now North down by 7. 15 minutes to go in the second quarter. Then we're going to get some food. Saving us, there's no actual drinks at Arden Street. I've had to walk 10 minutes out my way to go to a Woolworths to actually pick up a drink. So let's get inside.
Party, we're here for Chris's video. The only cold drink in the entire aisle, this one here. Beautiful Coke vanilla. Now it's definitely just not here because we definitely didn't just want to film in front of people at the aisle. But this is what we're getting for our drink at Arden Street because I don't have any drinks.
Alright, so it's half time now. Roo's down by 3 points. We've got our food, bit overpriced, so it's definitely going to bring the rankings down right here. This was $22, which is ridiculous. At the footy, you'd probably be getting this for, what, $15 or something like that, maybe a bit more, but $22 sounds a bit ridiculous. What I've got right here, we'll give it a try. It looks to be sitting there for quite a while as well when I picked it up. But yeah, we'll give it a try. We'll see if it's any good. It's hot. It's got no salt, no seasoning. It's a bit too potato, a bit starchy. Not going to go very high on the ranking, especially for the price. So we've got a chicken schnitzel burger. It looks like we've got a little bit of lettuce, cheese, and tomato. Looks alright. We'll give it a try. See if it tastes all good. The bun, it looks quite small as well. We'll give it a bit of a try. That's really solid. It's actually nice and warm. The chicken schnitzel's cooked, it's nice and crispy as well. That's going to go pretty high in the rankings. It's just the price is the only poor thing. $22 for this probably isn't worth it. Food, it was alright. Definitely could have been a lot fresher, as I did get it pretty quickly in less than a minute. The price could have definitely been better. I think it was priced at $24 for some chips and a burger that weren't even that fresh, to be honest, and that's why I'm giving the food a total of a 6.5. It wasn't too bad. It tasted quite nice. 3/4 time, Melbourne Stadium in control, up by 7-8 points, 62-79 apiece. Looked like to be Melbourne to win this game, probably put the BFL players on to win the last quarter as well. So far it's been a pretty good experience. The only problem has been the weather. It's been quite hot, quite miserable standing here, no seats as well. So it's going to bring it down a little bit, bring the rankings down off the ground a little bit, but that's okay. That'll do it for Melbourne, up by 47 points right now, and it was pretty even in the third quarter, thinking North might put up a fight in the last, but they haven't. These have came up pretty strong, and they're up by 47 with 3 minutes to go in the last. D's win by a massive 50 odd points, ridiculous from the D's. Good end to their pre-season. Moving on to the quality of the game, and it really did surprise me. Both Melbourne and North Melbourne were matched up quite well on the day, and got to see a lot of new players at new clubs, which was cool to see. But still wasn't great though. But the upside that's going to bring it up slightly was it was relatively high scoring in the end, and that's why I'm going to give the quality of the game a total of 7 out of 10. Moving on to the atmosphere, and it was overall pretty poor as it was under 500 people there at Arden Street, and after each goal there was barely any sort of cheer, and you had to really base it off the player celebrations. But what do you really expect, as these two sides can barely pull a crowd in the regular home and away AFL season? Overall though, I want to give it a 4 out of 10. The overall experience I had there was actually pretty good. The only downside was it was around 35 degrees on the day. It was struggling to find any sort of shade. Definitely does bring the ranks down for this. I was cooking in the sun pretty much all day, which obviously isn't ideal whatsoever. And the overall experience I'm going to give for the ground is a 6 out of 10. That means in total, Arden Street receives a 28.5 out of 50.
Now arrived here at the Cattery for an epic blockbuster game on the Friday night between the Cats and the D's here. So let's get to our seats.
I thought before the game, instead of halftime, I should beat the queues and get food before the game actually starts. This was $25.70, so pretty overpriced. I get the chips almost every week I come here, and they don't disappoint normally. We'll give it a bit of a rating first. Pretty stock standard, pretty nice. Nicely salted. The burger though, I don't like coleslaw in our burger. It's a chicken burger. It's the only burger I can realistically find. We'll give it a try. That's not bad, that's quite nice. I'll probably get that again, but the rating's honestly got to go down. As that was $25, ridiculous. Every other place I've gone to, it's been about $12 or whatever so far, but yeah, pretty stock standard. Pretty solid. It's not going to go highly on the rating for the food scale, but yeah, solid. The food there at GMHBA tasted quite nice, but was probably a little bit over my price range. Like $25 for a burger and chips. Like, you're absolutely taking the piss. Who is going to pay this much for a burger and chips? Like, who? Overall though, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The seats I had for the game were relatively good in the cheer squad. I normally do sit here for Cats games, so I'm pretty used to the view I normally get. It is on level 1. I get a pretty good view in front of the goals and have a pretty good chance most weeks to potentially get a mark behind the goals. In total, I give the seats a 9 out of 10. Hasn't been much going on in the quarter. There's 20 minutes through and we've only seen 2 goals. Missed it. Are you kidding me? Such an inaccurate start. 1 goal 5.
Come on, goal umpire.
Only up by 4. The overall game quality was pretty poor for this game. Like, take a look at the scores in the end of the first quarter. 1 goal 5 to 1 goal 2. Such a low scoring start off to the game. Overall though, it wasn't the greatest. It ended up being relatively higher scoring for the Cats end, but the D's only ended on a score of 45 and the Cats ended on a score of 85, so they won pretty convincingly. The skills weren't up to scratch, so I'd probably have to give it a total of a 5 out of 10. The overall experience there was really solid. I got to see a lot of my childhood stars pre-game as well as our Premiership Cups before the game even started. So overall, I give the experience a 7 out of 10. As the game continued, more and more goals started piling on, but the game became a little bit more exciting, especially for a Cats fan.
Yes! Slots it! Yes! On return, Reece Stanley!
Here he goes again, Atkins broke the tackle, gave it off. A chance here for Bose, who bananas it through. And Geelong is all over Melbourne.
After that goal by Bose, it brought Cats fans to their feet as the margin did go above 30 points for the first time and one of the only few times for that game, creating some really good atmosphere around GMHBA. The atmosphere for the game, though, ended up being really solid as I ended up being in the best possible surroundings in the Geelong cheer squad. So in the end, I'm also going to give it a 9 out of 10. Bringing the overall score to a 38 out of 50, smashing Arden Street.
We've now arrived at the only stadium with a roof on it, Marvel Stadium, for the epic Blues v Dogs clash. So let's not waste any time and let's get straight inside.
As soon as I got inside of the venue, I was already hungry for food, so went straight to the most unique place for food possible at Marvel Stadium.
We've got a bit of an interesting experience here. We've got the runner. So basically what you do is you tap your phone before walking in, and whatever you walk out with, it already automatically charges you. So what we're going to get for every bit of the video we've already done so far, obviously, we've gotten some chips and we've gotten a burger, and we'll get the chips and then we'll get the very last burger and then we'll walk out here. So we've got chips just like in every other part. We've got some chips. They look pretty good. They very much feel kind of cold, like they've been sitting there for a little while, which is fair enough, but we'll give it a bit of a taste. Looks like it's got some good amount of salt on here too. It's alright. It wasn't too expensive. There's a small or a large option which I kind of like, because sometimes you don't want too many chips, but they're not bad, decently salted, a bit cold though, but you can't really factor that one in because it's probably been sitting there for 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
I had a hot dog. 10 out of 10.
A burger. I haven't actually looked at what's in here. Doesn't look very good, to be honest. I'll give you that. Onions, that lettuce looks disgusting. Little to no meat and basically no cheese, what it looks like.
This is cooked.
Got some good sauce, good amount of sauce. Too much lettuce though. Needs a bit of tomato in here probably, but
Negative points to how shit this sauce is. Look at this.
cannot open it just to put it on a stupid hot dog.
Overall, the food was pretty cold, but it did taste quite nice. I did highly rate it. It tasted very, very good. Overall, though, it's just the temperature of the food wasn't to my liking. It tasted like the food had been sitting out for 20-25 minutes, like I did state. I did like the unique experience there at Marvel Stadium where I got to charge my card and just walk out with my food. I thought that was quite a cool, futuristic experience there. But overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Got some pretty good seats right here in the pocket. Don't know, we're quite far back though. That's the only problem though. I'm gonna get the Blues. Rain coming out right in front of us. Just
let's talk about the actual seats I had for this game. Now, they weren't the greatest since they were in the pocket and they were pretty far back as well. It also didn't help that it was super difficult to see if a goal was actually scored because most of the level 2 was covering the action, so it made it pretty difficult to see a lot of goals. You had to kind of base it off the crowd around us, but overall I'd give the seats a total of a 6 out of 10. That could have definitely been a lot better than that.
I take back what I said. Look how full it is up there. It is packed on level 3. Just the wing and level 2 that are a bit empty, but that should fill out with a couple minutes until bounce. Bit of pre-game music before bounce down. The atmosphere is definitely building up right here where we're sitting. Sitting in a heavy Cullen fan, and we've got dog stuff on. We're both supporting the Dogs tonight, but we're very outnumbered right here, but I hope the Dogs get over the line here to shush all these Blues fans up. It is so loud where we are. Cullen have got their first shot on goal.
Judging off that previous clip, we're in for a loud crowd at Marvel Stadium, being surrounded by a bunch of Blues fans. This atmosphere kept up for majority of the game, and overall I'd give the atmosphere an 8 out of 10. It was buzzing for majority of the game as well, since it was such a close finish as well. The overall quality of the game ended up being really, really good, as it was a very close game, high pressure game of footy. The final scores being 83-75, with the Dogs getting the job done in a close game at Marvel Stadium. Overall though, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It just could have been a little bit more higher scoring, and then it definitely probably would have scored almost
It's an
10
absolute furnace in here. I am getting so hot. Like seriously, this roof needs to be open with 30-degree weather and up. But I'm genuinely sweating. I had a jumper on earlier, but obviously I had to take that one off.
The overall experience I had for the game ended up being really, really solid, with tipping the Dogs winning the game there, getting the job done, being surrounded by a bunch of Blues fans. It was kind of nice to see, and it's also nice to see the Blues suffering to start the year off, as well as the game also being a close finish as well, up the experience I had at Marvel Stadium though. Overall though, I'd give the experience also an 8 out of 10. With less than 2 minutes left, all Blues fans lost hope and made the mad rush to get home.
Cullen fans all pissing off. Still a minute to go, by the way. This is still anybody's game. Here we go. English is soaking up the seconds. Doggies win. 83-75. The Blues start 0-3.
In total, the final score for Marvel Stadium ended up being a 37 out of 50, narrowly falling short to GMHBA by a singular point. And now let's make the trip over to Adelaide to head over to the next ground.
Adelaide Oval, the city of church, is here for the Hawks v Port matchup for this stadium's video here at Adelaide Oval. So let's get inside.
I was starving when I got into Adelaide Oval, so I then decided it was time for some food.
Alright, we are here at the food store, needing to get the same drinks and stuff as I got in the last time, which was GMHBA. Needed a burger and chips. Now, it's a bit interesting. I saw the last couple of days, the chips are a lot bigger in size as well, but it's quite expensive though. I'll show you the prices just in a second. This all cost $23.45. I do rate it. It's a lot bigger than all the other chips and it's a lot more unique. Like, it's a pink bun as I showed before. It's probably the best burger in the lot out of all of them, but we'll try the chips. Look pretty standatory, look quite pale. They don't actually look too cooked. They're alright, need some salt, honestly. That's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, you get a lot of it though. I will give it some good value. That was only like $7. This was like $15, $16, but I hope it's worth it. We'll give it a try though. That's so good. I don't know what. It's just got some cheese, tomato, lettuce, 2 patties. That is really good. I rate that so highly here at Adelaide Oval.
The food ended up tasting so good. It was definitely the best and most unique food I've had so far in this experience. Like, the burger bun was pink and the chips portions were insane. You are not getting any better food at any other venue other than Adelaide Oval. Like, the food didn't even taste like stadium food, really. It tasted like something you'd get at a very fancy restaurant. Overall though, I'd have to give the food a 10 out of 10. It was the best food by far I've had so far in this series. Before the game got underway, I got to witness my very first Never Tear Us Apart before a Port home game.
Not what I was expecting earlier, but the hill is, the atmosphere on the hill right now is unbelievable. We've got all the Power fans around us, some Hawthorn fans, you got real atmosphere on here is pretty solid.
The overall atmosphere for the whole game was so unmatched compared to every other stadium so far in this video, with Never Tear Us Apart and also the buzz on the hill. You just couldn't get any better than this. Overall though, I'd have to give the atmosphere a 9 out of 10. You just couldn't get much better than this. The only problem was the game wasn't too close, to be honest. The seats I had for the game, well, not really seats, weren't the greatest, as I was standing on the Adelaide Oval hill instead. It wasn't the greatest, especially if you were there to go and watch some footy, because it's almost impossible to see any sort of action. And it's also very, very squishy as well, since there are thousands of people cramped up into one little hill as well, which just didn't also help. Overall though, I'd give this seats a 6 out of 10, not the greatest.
And Zay, this man is going to be so happy right now.
I'll be the happiest man alive, mate, if we win tonight. There's no chance that Hawthorn will come back. Definitely not. Stronger than the rest!
By 30. The pair will win. That was a roll. Come on. For Adelaide aggression. We are the power from Port. It's more than a sport.
As the game did wrap up and Port Adelaide did get the job done against Hawthorn by 30 points, the overall quality of the game wasn't the greatest and definitely could have been a lot better. It was relatively high scoring, which did surprise me with how much of a lead Port Adelaide did have closing at half time. Overall though, I'm giving the quality of the game a 5 out of 10. The experience at the Adelaide Oval is an unforgettable experience. It is the best place to watch footy in my opinion, I would have to say. Has the most unique food, and the most unique part of the Adelaide Oval is the hill. The only place you can really stand and watch footy at an AFL venue and still get a pretty good view of the ground and have such good atmosphere with thousands of people around, I have to give the experience a 10 out of 10. It is the best experience you can possibly get at the footy, which means the Adelaide Oval total score comes to a 40 out of 50, beating GMHBA narrowly by a couple of points.
We've arrived here for the final part of this video, the last stadium here at the MCG for the classic clash of Richmond v Carlton. Got a big crowd heading into here, just under 90k as well, so let's head inside. We're walking into the MCG now. That atmosphere was absolutely unreal. Teams have just come out. It's generally unreal. There's generally 90k. There's so many people still outside, and there's still 20 minutes to the bounce. It is generally so loud in here. The atmosphere rating on this video is definitely, at the MCG, it's definitely going to be a high rating.
The atmosphere for the game at the MCG was unreal, especially since it was the first game back at the MCG, Richmond v Carlton, to start the AFL season, and there was a huge buzz around the ground. And it stayed like this for the majority of this game, which was unreal. So overall, I'm going to give the atmosphere a 10 out of 10, a perfect score. It deserves it, honestly. But anyways, let's get into the game.
Atmosphere's building here. Might see something tense. Dribbler! Oh, I tell you what, the atmosphere's building early. Like, it is so loud. Like, seriously. Carlton are struggling to honestly score that. Surprised they're not, but honestly, up by more. But Richmond finally scored those goals. Still a bit of a buzz around for them, but not expecting much from them tonight. I tell you what, though, these seats that we've snagged right here are really, really solid. Like, look where we're sitting.
Half time and the Blues are up by 25 points. I'm starving and it was definitely time for some food.
Cheeseburger. And then here's Chris's recording the video. Here we go. All right, here we go. So I'm behind the camera. We got the Worm Studio. We've got the Worm Studio. Alrighty, so we've got some chips and we've also got a burger. The chips look pretty good. They look nice and salted. They look nice and cooked. Sometimes the chips at the MCG can be a bit 50-50. Let's give it a taste though. Yeah, nice bit of chicken salt, good salted, nice and salted, pretty good chip, nice and crispy, not too cold as well. They're definitely fresh chips as well. Let's get into the burger now. It looks pretty good. It looks like a beef burger with a bit of lettuce, tomato, and a bit of cheese as well. Give it a taste though. Is that raw or is that just me? Is that raw? That's pink. Is that raw? It tastes alright, but it's undercooked. Look at that. That is pink. That is raw. Shit. This is what we're really here for. Have a look at these bad boys. These are a staple of your mum's Aldi trip. Bring on the second half. Woo!
The food ended up being the worst food I have ever tasted at any venue in my lifetime. What looks to be a raw burger and some very cold chips with no salt on them. Overall, I'd have to give them a 2 out of 10. As for the seats I had for the game, they were unreal in the pocket, in front of all the action, and even got to witness Seth Campbell's backflip right in front of my eyes, as well as the Tigers' 30-point comeback to win one of the upsets of the season. Overall though, I'd give this seats a 9 out of 10. The quality of the game couldn't have been any better as a neutral fan, with Richmond doing the unthinkable and winning the game against the Blues somehow. Overall though, I'd have to give it a 10 out of 10. The experience ended up being so good to start off this season, such a vibe and such a buzz at the MCG, and I would have to give it an 8 out of 10. It could have been a little bit better. The only thing dropping it would have been the food. Put me off MCG burgers for a long time, which brings the MCG total to a total of 38 out of 50, not getting as high of a score as people would have thought. These were the final totals of every ground, and the Adelaide Oval topping it off with the highest score with 40 out of 50, and Arden Street with the lowest score, scoring a 28.5 out of 50. Thanks everyone for watching this video. I put so many hours of effort into this and would appreciate if you guys did like and subscribe to the channel, as I am wanting to hit 3K by the end of the AFL season. And I do have a like goal for this video of 100 likes, so I would appreciate it if you guys did hit that like button. There's plenty more content to come for the rest of the final series, so you wouldn't want to miss out on any of that. Anyways guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.